I was raised by two wonderful women, you know, life partners.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, that's awkward. A while back, Jehovah's Witnesses put out this propaganda series called Remember the Wife of Lot. It seems mostly innocuous at first glance, so let's give it a watch and see what lessons Jehovah's Witnesses want their members to learn from it. Let's get into it. Let me give you a little lead up to this. Basically, the premise is that this dude's wife seems to be getting obsessed with quote-unquote worldly riches. She's got a new part-time job in real estate, selling houses, and he doesn't like it. Generally speaking, Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in having careers. They believe in having jobs. Nothing more. If you have any amount of energy in your life, it should be focused on Jehovah's Witnesses, not a career. Take a look.
We have to make sacrifices for what's most important in life. You know that. This new job, I'm worried. It may mean sacrificing time we should be spending on spiritual things. What about your pioneering?
what about it? I can do both.
The point is that they should be solely focused on pioneering, which is where you agree to get like 70 hours a month in knocking on people's doors. Earlier in the episode, he pointed out that they get by. They've had to stretch, but they've always made it. He believes that he should be the provider, and she should devote her entire life to door knocking. The religion shouldn't be a hobby, it should be a way of life. While this is going on, the husband has been studying the Bible with this guy, Joe, trying to get him baptized. Baptism is a very long process. It can take as long as a year or two, sometimes as little as 4 months, depending on the elders in the congregation and how ready they think the person is. There's really no upside to baptism. It just means you can be shunned by friends and family if you ever change your mind. Anyways, in the next scene, the husband is out knocking on doors with his study buddy, Joe.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Oh, you people again? Look, don't you have real jobs? I have a real job and you keep waking me up, okay?
I'm sorry, Frank. Forgive us. We didn't mean to upset you, man.
Joe?
Yeah, it's me, Joe.
I didn't even recognize you, man. How you doing, Joe, man?
Hey, how you doing,
Sorry.
Frank?
I'm good. It's been a while.
God, it has. We used to work together back in the day.
This was like my deepest fear. I absolutely hated knocking on doors and getting pissed off people. And it was even worse when that person knew me from somewhere. It was really embarrassing to get caught out there knocking on doors for a cult. Even when I was a full-blown Bible-thumping believer, I knew how the outside world viewed us. And it wasn't great. People think you're fucking weird. Because in all honesty, you are. This religion changes your personality. Something they even admit to and encourage. They call it the new personality. Literally the definition of a cult. If it changes your personality, then you're probably a cult member. Anyways, let's continue.
When was the last time we saw each
I
other?
think it was that time we were hauling that lumber.
Oh, when we were loading it and then it all fell over in the
all
street.
over
And
the street.
it took us forever to clean it up.
Forever. It was terrible.
What you should have saw was how mad this guy got. He was so mad, man. You can almost see the fumes coming out his ears.
Yeah. That was the old Joe, Frank.
Looks like I got a new Joe here, though. You all dressed up.
Yeah,
And everything.
yeah.
What brings you by?
Well, actually, we have some good news we'd like to share with you.
Good news, huh? Okay, I like good news. Well, why don't you come on in? I'll get some beers and we can talk about this good
Okay,
news.
but no thanks on the beers this morning.
Oh, okay. Well, come on in then.
Okay.
Some people might be confused by the beer thing. No, Jehovah's Witnesses aren't banned from drinking alcohol. In fact, it's a problem in some congregations, because there's nothing to do as a Jehovah's Witness. Most fun stuff is banned. You can drink, but you can't get drunk. A little tipsy is okay, but that doesn't stop some elders. Anyways, as I was saying, this is a perfect illustration of how they change your personality. They picked out one trait that most people can agree is bad: anger. And they claim they fixed Joe's anger problem. That might be the case. Maybe Jehovah's Witnesses did dull his anger problem, but this is a sign that the group is changing people's personalities. Now, I hear you saying that's a positive change. Shouldn't that be congratulated? That is a positive change. But what did he have to give up to change it? They weren't just trying to dull the dude's anger out of the goodness of their heart. He had to accept a bunch of other personality changes along with it, and he had to devote his entire life to this organization as payment. He has to knock on doors for the rest of his life. If he ever stops, he loses everything. What's the key difference between a psychiatrist changing somebody's personality through cognitive behavioral therapy and Jehovah's Witnesses changing it by using the Bible? Psychiatrists are ethically bound to help people, with no ulterior motives or benefits. This is the difference between constructive influence and destructive influence. A therapist has an interest in helping you improve upon yourself for the sake of improvement, and are encouraging you to use your conscience as a basis for your morality. And Jehovah's Witnesses are using their doctrine as a basis for morality. If you want to take on the personality changes they demand, then you'll end up with a cloned personality. You'll be a perfect replica of every other Jehovah's Witness around the world. That might not be so bad if their morality wasn't so absurd and grotesque in some ways. For example, no gays allowed.
I was raised by two wonderful women, life partners.
Oh, yeah,
What happens if a gay person wants to be a Jehovah's Witness? You're out of luck. That's not part of the deal. You can't become a clone like they want unless you turn straight. You're better off going to a therapist who can constructively influence you to improve upon yourself without expecting you to knock on doors and spread the word until the end of time, or else. In this next part, one of the elders from the congregation can clearly see that the husband isn't really happy that his wife isn't spending all her time knocking on doors. She wanted to have a career of her own so they could move into a bigger apartment. An honest and worthy goal, in my opinion. Nothing wrong with trying to improve on your living conditions. So let's see what they say.
Brian, where's Gloria going? Is she okay?
Oh, yeah, Brother Williams. She had to leave. Gloria's going to catch the rest of the assembly next week. She's just been so busy with her real estate job lately. We needed the extra money. We moved into a better place over on the east side of town, and, well, I'm working a little bit more, too. I'm just trying to make her happy.
True happiness, Brian? Joy? It's spiritual. You can't satisfy spiritual needs with material things.
Why is this any of this dude's business? This is bizarre, and it's another fine example of Jehovah's Witnesses trying to force people to have jobs rather than careers, and have Jehovah's Witnesses as a way of life rather than a hobby, and nothing else. They don't want people focused on anything but spreading the good news. They take over your life, adapt you into another clone of the organization, and make it so you can't leave, no matter what, or you lose everything and everybody you ever loved. Is it worth it? Is it worth giving up that anger problem when you could just as easily use cognitive behavioral therapy for that? Is it worth giving up all of your worldly friends, giving up your hobbies, to become another clone? I can't make that determination for anybody, but I can tell you this: leaving the organization was the best decision I've ever made. It poisons every part of your life. The problems they claim to help you solve can be solved outside the religion, and the price you have to pay for Jehovah's Witnesses to solve it is not worth it. So what happens next in the story? Brother Williams comes over to the new apartment they just moved into to do what they call a shepherding call. It probably isn't that formal. More than likely, he wouldn't actually call it a shepherding call in this case. Those happen when the person is on their way out the door in some really obvious way. Like they have outside friends, or they go to the bar every week, or they got an ear piercing. They went to a church service with a friend, even if it was just for a funeral or something. That's not what's happening here. These people still believe it to the bone. So it's more of a friendly and concerned visit than a shepherding call, technically. But he still feels like he needs to give them some motivation to stay in the religion and be broke as shit like they apparently were before. Let's continue.
Hey, Brother Williams.
Hi, Tina.
Come on in.
How are you?
Good.
It's good to see you. It all seems very nice. What do you think of this place, Tina?
Honestly, I wish we never left the other place.
Really? Why do you feel that way?
Everything's so different here. Everything has to look good for you to fit in. You have to wear the nicest clothes. You have to drive the most expensive car. It's just different, that's all.
Yeah, I understand. But you know what might help? Maybe set a new goal.
Okay, like what?
Well, what do you think? What interests you?
Okay, interesting. Jehovah's Witnesses want this girl to set a new goal, pick up a new hobby, something like that. What's it gonna be? Can anybody guess? Will it be stamp collecting? Will it be art? Writing? Those could be fun, constructive goals.
Well, I was thinking of learning a new language.
Really? That's an excellent goal. What do you think of Ricky learning sign language?
Shocker. Encourage her to do something that could benefit the religion, and then relate it back to something another person in the congregation is doing. Earlier in the clip, this kid Ricky talked about learning sign language and joining the deaf congregation so he could help bring deaf Jehovah's Witnesses into the religion. If you have a hobby, it needs to be useful to the religion in some way. This should illustrate how much control this group has over people's lives. They want to control every aspect of it. This isn't Tina. This is Tina, Jehovah's Witness. My mom isn't Jennifer Morgan. It's Jennifer Morgan, Jehovah's Witness. That's how this works. This is the price you pay for being part of a cult. Yes, you definitely feel a sense of belonging when you're in it. That's par for the course when it comes to cults. I'll take my individuality and go somewhere else. I can find a sense of belonging elsewhere without being expected to form my personality around one specific ideology.
I was hoping to see Anna. Is Anna here?
She's with Kevin.
Kevin? Kevin who?
Why is this any of this dude's business? Seriously. He just barges in and starts asking personal questions about their lives. But this was actually an important question for an elder to ask. If one of the girls of dating age is with a man alone, that could possibly be disfellowshipping territory, or at least reproval territory, a punishment not quite as extreme as disfellowshipping.
Kevin's one of our relatives. They work together at a pharmaceutical company. He's a pretty nice guy and from nice family too.
Tina? Are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
How do you think Anna's doing?
Jesus Christ, dude. He is so creepy. How do you think Anna is doing? The mom just told you. Why are you prying? This has to be awkward for the family. They're probably standing over there in the corner hoping Tina doesn't blab. There's no privacy in this group.
How do you think Anna's doing?
She's going through different things right now. We invited her friend over from the other congregation to maybe encourage her.
That's nice. But you know, I have to commend you because you're doing so well spiritually. Keeping up with your spiritual routine, and you think about learning a new language so you can help out. Keep up the good work, don't give up. But Tina, we're not gonna give up on your sister. She has a potential of being a fine servant of Jehovah. And she has a good heart. I'm confident that in time, she's gonna make the right decision.
This group is so creepy. It's pretty clear by now Anna is going down a bad path, right? So what's Anna doing that's so bad? Is she dating an outsider? Is she going to bars? What's she doing? I'll tell you what she's doing. She's trying to become a scientist. She works at a pharmaceutical lab as an intern. Remember, working is okay. Enjoying your work is not.
This looks really good, Anna. Good job.
Really? Thanks.
Hey, we're still behind schedule though, so I'm gonna have to ask you to work overtime with the rest of the team, just till we get caught up, okay?
But I can't tonight. I have a family dinner I have to go to.
Dinner? Anna, if you want to be successful, work needs to come first. Everyone else is doing it. Don't worry, she'll understand.
It's not my mom I'm worried about. It's my dad. He doesn't want me working late anymore.
Fine, I'll cover for you. We're all working late anyways, so I'll give everyone a ride home and afterwards we'll step in for a few minutes and I'll explain that's all my fault.
So, does this mean we're gonna meet those uptight parents of yours?
They're not that uptight.
I'm kidding. Lighten up.
Hey, Anna's family is pretty conservative, so just be careful what you do say.
This should be interesting.
Tess, just be nice, okay?
Soon to be revealed, this one is a lesbian. It does not go well. Let's keep watching.
Mom, Dad, this is Tess and Eric. We're in the same intern program.
Nice to meet you all. Come on in and have a seat.
You know, I really wanted to apologize to both of you. It's my fault that Anna's late today. I asked the entire team to work overtime so we could get caught up on schedule. But just to let you know, she's doing really good. And we really do enjoy having her on the team.
Okay, thank you.
You know, not just that, she's working with some good people. Tess and Eric, they're some of the best up-and-coming talents we have in the field.
Your parents must be really proud of you.
Well, my moms are both really proud of me. I was raised by two wonderful women, life partners.
Uh-oh. This is not going to end well. This is what I was talking about. Jehovah's Witnesses program their members to be clones of each other based on Jehovah's Witness morality. They can say it's biblical morality all they want, and they do say that, but they're outliers. Even scholars in the field of Bible research heavily disagree with Jehovah's Witnesses on a lot of stuff. This isn't biblical morality, it's Jehovah's Witness morality. Let's watch the shit fest unfold.
I was raised by two wonderful women, life partners.
Oh, yeah, You know, my assistant Marty, I recently found out that he's gay.
You say that like there's something wrong with it. Do you have a problem?
Tess, don't do this.
Why? There's nothing wrong with being gay.
Tess, we live by the Bible's moral standards, but we don't force our beliefs on other people, and we don't judge anyone either.
But you do think being gay is wrong.
Huh. Interesting. You don't judge anybody, but you think being gay is wrong. Seems like a little bit of a contradiction there. Yes, they do judge people. And no, they don't live their lives by Bible principles. They live their lives by the governing body's interpretation of Bible principles. And even if their interpretation really was correct, that's straight up wrong. Hating and judging people on this basis is stupid. It sows more division and hatred. I don't give a shit what religion you're a part of. There's no excuse for living in the Dark Ages.
Look, I don't mean to be rude, sir, but the world has changed.
Honey, maybe we're being too harsh on gays. Some people just seem to be programmed that way.
Look, I know not everyone agrees with us, but we all have free will. And God lets us choose to live by his standards or not. If we go against his standards, we end up hurting ourselves. He just wants what's best for us.
If it wasn't clear before how Jehovah's Witnesses feel about the LGBT community, then I think it should be pretty clear by now. They live in the Dark Ages, and it doesn't end there. Not only are they supposed to hate gay people, not only are they supposed to reject what they call the gay lifestyle choice, but...
So this is our Anna's association.
They're just kids. Kids talk like they know everything.
Our Anna believes them.
They can't have friends who feel differently either. They don't want individuality. They want clones. And anybody who refuses to fit that mold will be kicked out and never spoken to again. Is it really worth it? Is it really worth having your personality formed by these people? Would you prefer this over normal therapy that respects individuality, human rights, and dignity? This video was intended for active Jehovah's Witnesses that are already a part of the religion. This wasn't really intended to be shown to people when you knock on their door. The social cost of joining the religion is steep. So the only way they can bring in new members is by introducing the social costs gradually over the course of a year or two. Springing videos like this on any random person in the street will probably end badly, and they know that. That's how cults survive and grow, by having a lower social cost, by making it a lot easier to fit into the group without having to change your personality very much. By having a lower social cost, by making it a lot easier to fit into the group without having to change your personality very much, the group grows larger, faster. Having a higher social cost means they grow a lot slower, but the membership has high enthusiasm. They're nearly impossible to deprogram. Look at Scientology and Jehovah's Witnesses, for example. The cost is a lot higher to be a member of Scientology. Not only socially, but financially too. It comes along with a lot of bizarre beliefs, and it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to climb the ladder. With Jehovah's Witnesses, the upfront cost is zero. All you have to do is express an interest in the religion. Over the course of months and months, people volunteer their time to indoctrinate you and show you the good qualities that come along with the cult personality. By the time you see this kind of thing, the sunk cost fallacy kicks in and you're more willing to accept it. Scientology has about 50,000 members. Jehovah's Witnesses have 8.5 million. These groups are damaging, they're destructive, and they've put a lot of time and effort into making that difficult to recognize up front. Anyways, that's all I've got for you. If you like what I do and you want to see me continue to do it, you can support me in a few ways. First, there's Patreon. That's probably the best way. But if you want to get something back for your support, you can check me out on Teespring, or you can check me out on Etsy. I have a store where I sell all kinds of interesting stuff. Mostly it's 3D printed game stands. But I also sell these 2020 dumpster fire candle holders, or just regular dumpster fire candle holders. And I sell these signs. If you want to keep Jehovah's Witnesses or Mormons from knocking on your door, put these out front. Jehovah's Witnesses aren't afraid of anything, except apostates. And you don't have to be an ex-Jehovah's Witness to be an apostate. The term applies to anybody critical of the religion. So if you want to keep them away, then consider getting one of these signs. All links can be found in the description and the pinned comment. Okay, thanks for watching, guys.